Page 1 of 66. Prophet Musa. Quranic name, Musa. Biblical name, Moses. Born in the family of Bani Israel. Quranic information, year of birth, 1436 BC. Place of birth, Egypt. Quranic information, father's name, Imran. Brother, Harun. Prophet. Quranic information, year of death, 1316 BC. Age, 120 years. Contents. Introduction. The rulers of ancient Egypt. Bani Israel living in the kingdom of Pharaoh before the birth of Prophet Musa. Prediction of the birth of Prophet Musa. Birth of Prophet Musa and his upbringing in the palace of Pharaoh. Grown up Musa was given wisdom and knowledge by Allah, and he started preaching, killing a man, and leaving for Madian. Marriage of Prophet Musa. Communication with Allah and declaration of his prophethood. Allah spoke to Prophet Musa directly. Award of 9 miracles. Details of 2 miracles. Allah's order to go to Pharaoh with these miracles. Fears of Prophet Musa before going to Pharaoh and submissy. Page 2 of 66. Reaction of Pharaoh. Oppressed Bani Israel. Allah ordered Prophet Musa to take his nation out of the rule of Pharaoh. Pharaoh's men breaking the promise to send Bani Israel with Prophet Musa. Prophet Musa and Bani Israel left homes, and were chased by Pharaoh and his men. Pharaoh and his army were drowned. Pharaoh believed in Allah to become Muslim, but it was too late for him. Pharaoh's body was saved. Presentation of Pharaoh's body to fire. Allah's punishment to Pharaoh's men. Prophet Musa called by Allah for 40 nights on his way. Prophet Musa was seized by an earthquake and he prayed to Allah. Prophet Musa hastened to reach Mount Tor. Request of Prophet Musa to see Allah. Allah gave Prophet Musa the book. Allah's favors on Bani Israel. O Allah exalted Bani Israel above all other nations. O saved Israelites from the clutches of Pharaoh. O provided respectable dwelling. O provided shade of clouds and manna and salva. O 12 tribe. Page 3 of 66. O used to tease Prophet Musa. O continued disobedience of Bani Israel, displeasure of Allah, warnings to them, and punishment by Allah. O Bani Israel were cursed by Prophet Dawood and Prophet Isa, worshipping a calf by Israelites. Prophet Musa returned to his people from Mount Tor in anger and sorrow. Prophet Musa censured his brother, Harun. Prophet Musa was angry over Samiri. Allah's order to sacrifice a cow, and Bani Israel's unnecessary arguments. Allah brings dead man to life. Allah's special favors to Prophet Musa and Prophet Harun. The story of a noble man. Teachings of Prophet Musa. Introduction. Out of all the prophets mentioned in Quran, the story of Prophet Musa has been described in large number of verses spread over many surahs, chapters. In many cases these stories are associated with the stories of Bani Israel, the descendants of Prophet Yaqub and his followers, and the ruler of Egypt at that time, Pharaoh. The rulers. Page 4 of 66, 66, 11, and for the believers, Allah has set an example in the wife of Pharaoh, who said, My Rab, build for me a house from you in paradise, deliver me from Pharaoh and his misdeeds, and save me from the wicked nation. Bani Israel living in the kingdom of Pharaoh. Before the birth of Prophet Musa, the people living under the rulership of Pharaoh at that time were in fact divided in 2 groups, the followers of Pharaoh, who used to consider and believe Pharaoh as their god, and Bani Israel, the descendants and followers of Prophet Yaqub, who did not accept Pharaoh as their god. As the people from Bani Israel were not accepting Pharaoh as their god, they were constantly afflicted by Pharaoh, who used to treat them inhumanly. This situation has been described in Quran by saying, 28:3, 28:3, we narrate to you some information about Musa and Pharaoh, in page 5 of 66. Land of the Israelites. Other story said that the Pharaoh dreamt of a little boy who caught the Pharaoh's crown and destroyed it. A very commonly known story says that Pharaoh was informed by the astronomers that one of the male children from Bani Israel would be born who will overthrow him and his kingship. Being panicked, Pharaoh ordered the killing of all newborn Israelite males in order to prevent the prediction from occurring. The experts of economics in Pharaoh's court advised him that killing all the male infants of the Israelites would result in loss of manpower. Therefore, they suggested that the male infants should be killed in 1 year only and not afterwards. So, Musa was born in the year in which infants were being killed. Birth of Prophet Musa and his upbringing in the palace of Fir'aun. The order of Fir'aun was executed, and any male child born in Bani Israel used to be killed. Prophet Musa was born during this period into a family of Bani Israel. Page 6 of 66, 2039, 2039. Put your child into the chest and throw the chest into the river. The river will cast him onto the bank, and he will be picked up by one who is an enemy to me and an enemy to him. I made you an object of love and so arranged things that you may be brought up under my supervision. The Musa's mother did exactly as she was instructed. Then Allah made an arrangement to save the life of Musa and to give him back into the care of his mother. The palace of Fir'aun was on the river bank. The wife of Fir'aun, Asaya, while strolling in the lawn outside her palace, saw the child floating in a chest in the river. She picked the child from the river and took him to her husband, saying that he was a beautiful child and they may adopt him as their son. Page 7 of 66. While she was casting Musa in the river, she instructed her daughter, who was a grown-up girl, to follow the course of the chest and to report back to her. Her daughter followed the chest from a distance along the riverbank so that nobody could take a notice of it. She saw that his brother was picked up by the wife of Fir'aun. 28:11. She, Musa's mother, said to Musa's sister, "Go, and follow him." So she, Musa's sister, watched him from a distance in such a way that the other did not notice it. Although the life of baby Musa was thus saved, Allah made another arrangement to unite Musa with his mother. When Asaya arranged a wet nurse for Musa, the child refused to suck milk from his foster mother. It was because Allah had forbidden Musa from being fed by any wet nurse. The wife of Fir'aun, Asaya, was worried how the child will survive if he does not. Page 8 of 66, 2040. Recall, O Musa, when your sister went to them and said, "May I tell you of the one who can take care of this child?" Thus did we return you back to your mother to comfort her eyes and that she might not grieve. Grown-up Musa was given wisdom and knowledge by Allah, and he started preaching. Child Musa was brought up in the palace of Fir'aun in the care of his mother. When he was grown up, Allah granted him wisdom and knowledge. 28:14. When he reached maturity and became full grown, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge. Thus do we reward the righteous. Prophet Musa then started preaching the orders of Allah, but many people, fearing Fir'aun, did not accept his teachings, and there were only few who followed the teachings of Prophet Musa. 159. In the Page 9 of 66 was not happy with this situation. He prayed to Allah to forgive him for this act. And Allah accepted his prayer. 28:15. One day, he, Musa, entered the city at a time when its people were not yet active. He found two men reaching to each other's throats. One was from his own race and the other of his foes. The man of his own race appealed for his help against his foe. Thereupon Musa gave his foe a blow which killed him. On seeing what he had done, he said, "This is the work of Satan, surely he is an enemy that openly misleads." 28:16. Page 10 of 66, 28:18. Next morning, as he was walking in the city in fear and caution, suddenly he saw the same man whom he had helped the day before, cried out to him again for help. Musa replied, "You are certainly a misguided person." 28:19. Then, when Musa was about to lay his hands on a man who was an enemy to both of them, he cried out, "O Musa! Do you intend to kill me as you killed a person yesterday? You only want to become a tyrant in the land and have no intention of reforming anything." Hearing the shouting of the man, a man came running to Musa and informed him that the chiefs are planning to kill him, Musa, and advised Musa to go away from that place. He said that he was ADB. Page 11 of 66. We could not water their flock and they had to wait till others finish watering their flock and go away. So, Musa, being a strong man, watered their flock early for them. 28:23. When he arrived at the well of Madian, he saw a multitude of men watering their flocks, and besides them 2 women who were keeping their flocks back. He asked, "What is the problem?" They replied, "We cannot water our flocks until the shepherds take away their flocks from the water, because we are weak and our father is a very old man." 28:24. So he watered their flock for them and went back to the shade and prayed, "O Ra." Page 12 of 66. 28:27. He, the old man, said, "I am willing to give you one of my daughters in marriage if you stay in my service for 8 years. But you may complete 10 if you wish. I do not want to put you in trouble. Allah willing, you will find me one of the righteous." 28. He, Musa, replied, "So be it, an agreement between me and you. Whichever of the 2 terms I complete, let there be no compulsion on me. Allah is the witness to what we have agreed upon." Communication with Allah and declaration of his prophethood. After completing his term, Musa with his wife started a journey to an unknown day. Page 13 of 66. 2012. In fact, I am your Rab. Take off your shoes, you are in the sacred valley of Tua. 2013. I have chosen you, so listen to what I am about to reveal. 2014. It is me, Allah. There is none worthy of worship except me, so worship me and establish Salah for my remembrance. 2040. You stayed a number of years with the people of Madian. Now you have come here per our pre-estimation, O Musa. 27. Relate to them the story of Musa, when Musa said to his wife, "I have Page 14 of 66. 28:30. But when he reached there, a voice called out to him from the right side of the valley of the blessed spot from a tree, saying, "O Musa, surely I am Allah the Rab of the worlds." Allah spoke to Prophet Musa directly. 164. And Allah spoke to Musa directly. Award of 9 miracles. Allah in the following verses has informed that Prophet Musa was given 9 signs or miracles. 101. To Musa we gave 9 clear signs. 27. Now put your hand into your bosom, it will come out shining white without any harm. Among the 9 signs, what are these 9 signs or miracles? Page 15 of 66. Come back and not to fear. Then Allah told Musa to put his hand in the bosom, which came out white and shining without any harm or disease. These were the 2 miracles given to Musa on that occasion, with the advice that whenever you feel frightened, to draw his hand towards himself, which will ward off his fear. 2017. What is in your right hand, O Musa? 2018. Musa replied, "It is my staff. I lean on it, I beat down fodder with it for my flock, and I have also other uses for it." 2019. Allah said, "Cast it down, O Musa." 2020. So he casted it down and saw that it became a serpent active in motion. 2021. Allah said, "Catch it and don't." Page 16 of 66. 28:31. Then Allah commanded, "Throw down your staff." When Musa saw that the staff was writhing like a snake, he turned his back and fled, and did not even look behind. Allah said, "O Musa, come back and do not fear. You are quite safe." 28:32. Now put your hand into your bosom, it will come out shining white without any harm to you. And draw your arm towards yourself to ward off any fear. These are 2 credentials from your Rab. Allah's order to go to Fir'aun with these miracles. With these 2 miracles, Allah ordered Prophet Musa to go to Fir'aun and his chiefs and convey the message of Allah to them to follow, as they were the wicked people. Page 17 of 66, 79, 19, 79, 19. If so, I shall guide you towards your Rab, so that you may fear him. Fears of Prophet Musa before going to Fir'aun, and submission to Allah to make his brother Harun his assistant on the order of Allah to go to Fir'aun. Prophet Musa was a bit reluctant. He said that he earlier had killed one man there and he feared that they would kill him if he goes there. In spite of his fear, he could not disobey Allah's order. So he requested Allah to make his brother, Harun, his companion in this mission. He said that Fir'aun and his chiefs might treat him, Musa, as a liar, and his brother, Harun, can assist him because he was more eloquent than him. Allah accepted Prophet Musa's request by saying that he would strengthen his arm by his brother, and ensured that Fir'aun and his people would not be able to harm them, and ultimately they, Musa and Harun, would be the winners. 20. Page 18 of 66, 26, 13, 26, 13. My breast feels cramped and my tongue is not eloquent. So, send Harun. 26, 14, 26, 14. They have a charge of manslaughter against me and I fear they may put me to death. 28, 33, 28, 33. Musa submitted, Rab. I have killed one of them, I fear that they will put me to death. 28, 34, 28, 34. My brother Harun, he is more eloquent in speech than I. Send him with me as a helper to confirm my words. I fear that they will treat me as a liar. Allah accepted Prophet Musa's request and strengthened him with his brother Harun. 1953, 1953. We made his brother Harun a PR. Page 19 of 66, 10, 75. Then later on we sent Musa and Harun to Fir'aun and his chiefs with our signs. But they showed arrogance, for they were a guilty nation. 2042, 2042. You and your brother should go with my signs and do not neglect to mention me. 2043, 2043. Go both of you to Fir'aun, for he has indeed transgressed all bounds. 2044, 2044. Speak to him in gentle words. Perhaps he may take heed of the reminder or fear our punishment. 2045, 2045. They, Musa and Harun, said, Our Rab. We fear that he may behave towards us unjustly or may cross all bounds. 2046, 2046. Allah said, Do not be afraid, I shall be with you. Page 20 of 66, 26, 16, 26, 16. Go to Fir'aun and tell him, we are the Rasuls from the Rab of the worlds. 28, 35, 28, 35. Allah replied, They shall not be able to harm you. With our signs, you too as well as those who follow you, will triumph. Conversation with Fir'aun. Prophet Musa and Prophet Harun together went to Fir'aun, and started conversation with him. 2049, 2049. Fir'aun asked, Who is your Rab, O Musa? 2050, 2050. He, Prophet Musa, replied, Our Rab is he who has given to all creatures and then rightly guided them. 2051, 2051. He, Fir'aun, asked, What do you say about the condition of previous generations? 2052. Page 21 of 66, 26, 19, 26, 19. Then you did what you did. You are so ungrateful. 26, 20, 26, 20. Musa replied, I did that when I was an misguided youth. 26, 21, 26, 21. I fled from you all because I feared you. But now my Rab has granted me wisdom and appointed me as one of his Rasuls. 26, 22, 26, 22. Is it a favor with which you taunt me, that you have enslaved Bani Israel? 26, 23, 26, 23. Fir'aun said, Who is this Rab of the worlds? 26, 24, 26, 24. Musa replied, He is the Rab of the heavens and the earth and all that lies between them. Page 22 of 66, 7, 107, 7, 107. So Musa threw down his staff and all of a sudden it became a real serpent. 7, 108, 7, 108. Then he drew out his hand from his bosom, and it became shining white to all the beholders. 7:109. The chiefs of Furan's nation said, he indeed is a skilled sorcerer. 7:110, who intends to drive you out from your land. Furan asked, so what do you propose? 10:76. When the truth did come to them from us, they said, this is indeed sheer magic. 10:77. Musa replied, is this WH? Page 23 of 66, 20, 60, 20, 60. Furan then withdrew, concerted his plan and came back. 20:61. Musa addressed them saying, woe to you, for this challenge. Do not forge a lie against Allah, by calling it a magic, lest he may destroy you by a scourge. For whosoever forges a lie will indeed be disappointed. 26:25. Furan said to those around him, his courtiers, do you hear that? 26. Musa continued, he is your Rab and the Rab of your forefathers. 26:27. Furan interjected, this Rasul of yours, who has been sent to you, is crazy. 26:28. Page 24 of 66. Then Furan asked his courtiers what they intended to propose. They said to put Musa and his brother off for a while, and send the collectors to all the cities to summon every skillful sorcerer to him. The sorcerers came to Furan and asked for some suitable reward if they prevailed. Furan, in his frustration, promised the sorcerers not only for the reward, but many more benefits if they win, and said that they shall certainly become his favorite friends. 7:111. They said, put him and his brother off for a while, and send the collectors to all the cities. 7:112. To summon every skillful sorcerer to you. 7:113. The sorcerers came to Furan and said, we must certainly have some suitable reward if we prevail. 7:11. Page 25 of 66. 7:117. We inspired Musa to cast his staff. No sooner did he cast his staff than it became a serpent and began to swallow up the creation of their sorcery. 7:118. Thus the truth prevailed and all that they did collapsed. 7:119. So, Furan and his people were defeated and were put to humiliation. The story is repeated in Surah 10, as under 10:79. Furan said, bring me every skillful magician. 10:80. When the magicians came, Musa said to them, throw what you wish to throw. 10:81. So, when they had thrown, Musa said, the magic tea. Page 26 of 66. 64. Therefore, muster up all devices and face them with a united front. Whoever comes out victorious this day, shall prevail. 20:65. The magicians said, O Musa, will you throw down, or shall we be the first to throw down? 20:66. Musa replied, go ahead, throw down first. When they did it, it appeared as if their cords and staffs were moving about because of their magic. 20:67. So, Musa conceived fear within himself. 20:68. We said, do not be afraid. You will surely come out on top. 20:69. Throw that which. Page 27 of 66. 36:37. To bring you every skilled magician. 26:38. So the magicians were brought together at the appointment time on a fixed day. 26:39. The people were motivated, would you come to the gathering? 26:40. So that we may follow the magicians if they are dominant. 26:41. When the magicians arrived, they asked Furan, shall we get a reward if we are dominant? 26:42. Furan replied, yes, of course. You will even be made my courtiers. 26:43. Musa said to them, cast down what why? . 26:44. Page 28 of 66 only be a divine intervention. So, they immediately surrendered to Musa and accepted that Musa was a messenger of Allah, and they became believers. The acceptance of truth by the magicians without any fear of being punished by Fir'aun confirms what Allah said in verse 35-28 of the Holy Quran, that it is only the class of knowledgeable professionals who fear Allah. 35-28 Only those among his servants fear Allah who possess knowledge. The verse 35-28 quoted above is only half the verse of a two-verse verses 35-27 and 35-28 topic where, before giving this statement, Allah has explained who are the knowledgeable persons. Allah said that these are the persons who have the knowledge of 1. All things that grow on earth, and their colors. 2. All those things found on the earth and in the mountains, and their colors. And 3. All living things, human beings, animals, etc. and their colors, and t. Page 29 of 66, 7, 125, 7, 125 They answered, we will surely return to our Rabb. 7, 126, 7, 126 They further said, you want to take revenge from us simply because we believed in the signs of our Rabb when they came before us. O our Rabb, give us patience and cause us die as Muslims. 20, 70, 20, 70 When the magicians saw the serpent of Musa swallowing all their display, being professionals they knew that it was not magic, so the magicians humbled themselves by prostrating and said, we believe in the Rabb of Harun and Musa. 20, 71 Page 30 of 66, 26, 47, 26, 47, saying, we believe in the Rabb of the worlds, 26, 48, 26, 48 the Rabb of Musa and Harun. 26, 49, 26, 49 Fir'aun shouted, how dare you believe in him before I give you permission? He must be your master who taught you the witchcraft. But soon you shall find out. I will cut off your hands and your feet on opposite sides and crucify you all. 26, 50, 26, 50 They replied, we don't care. We are going to return to our Rabb anyway. 26, 51, 26, 51 We only desire that our Rabb may forgive us our sins, as we a. Page 31 of 66, 17, 102 Musa replied, you know it very well that no one except the Rabb of the heavens and the earth has sent down these signs as eye-openers, and O Fir'aun, surely I think that you are doomed. 2056, 2056 We showed Fir'aun all kinds of our signs, but he denied them and gave no heed. 2057, 2057 He, Fir'aun, said, have you come to drive us out of our land with your magic, O Musa? 2345, 2345 Then we sent Musa and his brother Harun with our signs and clear authority, 2346, 2346 to Fir'aun and his chiefs, but they received them with arrogance, for they were very haughty people. 2347 Page 32 of 66, 28, 37 Musa stated, my Rabb knows best who it is that comes with guidance from him and who will gain the reward of the hereafter. Surely the wrongdoers will not attain felicity. 28, 38, 28, 38 Fir'aun said, O chiefs, you have no other god that I know of, except myself. O Haman, bake for me bricks from clay and build me a high tower so that I may climb it to see the god of Musa. Most surely I think him to be one of the liars. 29, 39, 29, 39 To Qarun, Fir'aun and Haman, when Musa came to them with clear signs, they remained arrogant in the land. Yet they could not go ahead of us. Page 33 of 66, 40, 27 Musa said, I have indeed taken refuge in my Rabb and your Rabb from every arrogant one who does not believe in the day of reckoning. 40, 28, 40, 28 At this, a believer from among the relatives of Fir'aun, who had kept his faith hidden, said, will you kill a man merely because he says, my Rabb is Allah, and when he has brought you clear signs from your Rabb? If he is lying, may his lie be on him. But if he is speaking the truth, then some of the dreadful things he is threatening you which may very well fall on you. Surely, Allah does not guide the one who is a lying transgressor. Page 34 of 66, 40, 38. The man who was a true believer said, O my people, follow me, I shall guide you to the right path. 43, 46, 43, 46. We sent Musa with our signs to Pharaoh and his chiefs. He said to them, I am a Rasul of the Rab of the worlds. 43, 47, 43, 47. When he showed them our signs, they laughed at those signs. 51, 38, 51, 38. There is also a sign for you in the story of Musa, when we sent him to Pharaoh with clear authority. 51, 39, 51, 39. But he turned his back along with his chiefs, and said, he is a sorcerer or a madman. 79, 20, 79, 20. Then he, Musa, showed Pharaoh the mighty. Page 35 of 66, 7, 127, 7, 127. The chiefs of Pharaoh's nation asked him, will you leave Musa and his nation free to commit mischief in the land and to forsake you and your gods? He said, we will put their sons to death and spare their daughters. We have irresistible power over them. 7, 128, 7, 128. Musa said to his people, seek help from Allah and be patient. The land belongs to Allah. He gives it as a heritage to those of his devotees whom he pleases. You should know that final success is for the righteous. Page 36 of 66, 10, 88, 10, 88. Musa prayed, Our Rab, you have indeed bestowed on Pharaoh and his chiefs splendor and wealth in this worldly life. Our Rab, have you done this so that they may mislead people from your way? Our Rab, destroy their wealth and harden their hearts. They will not believe until they see the painful punishment. 10, 89, 10, 89. Allah replied, your prayer shall be answered. So remain steadfast and do not follow the path of those who have no knowledge. 14, 5. Page 37 of 66, 26, 17, 26, 17. You should send with us the children of Israel. 26, 52, 26, 52. We revealed to Musa saying, set off with my servants and beware that you will be pursued. Pharaoh's men breaking the promise to send Bani Israel with Prophet Musa. 7, 134, 7, 134. Whenever scourge befell them Pharaoh's men, they said, O Musa, pray for us to your Rab as he has made the promise with you. If you help remove the scourge from us, we shall truly believe in you and send the Bani Israel with you. 7, 135, 7, 135. But when we removed the scourge from the men, Page 38 of 66, 26, 56, and of course, we have gathered a large number of men, well prepared to chase them and stop them. 26, 57, 26, 57, thus we make them leave their gardens and their water springs. 26, 58, 26, 58, their treasures and sumptuous dwellings. 26, 59, 26, 59, this is how we, later, made Bani Israel inheritors of such things. Pharaoh and his army were drowned. Prophet Musa and Bani Israel had to cross the Red Sea. Allah instructed Prophet Musa to strike his staff on water. The water parted and they crossed the sea without any difficulty. When Pharaoh and his men, while chasing them, reached in the middle of the sea, the water started flowing again, and Pharaoh and his men were drowned. 250, 250, and when we party. Page 39 of 66, 17, 103, 17, 103. He, Pharaoh, resolved to remove them, Musa and Bani Israel, from the face of the earth, so we drowned him and all who were with him. 20, 78, 20, 78. Pharaoh followed them with his army, but the waters completely overwhelmed them as it could overwhelm them. 20, 79, 20, 79. Thus Pharaoh misled his people instead of guiding them aright. 23, 48, 23, 48. So they disbelieved, both of them, Musa and Harun, and became among those who were destroyed. 26, 60, 26, 60. They, Pharaoh and his men, pursued them in the morning. 26, 61, 26, 61. When the two, Bani Israel, Page 40 of 66, 26, 66, and drowned the others. 27, 14, 27, 14. They were convinced in their hearts about the truth of those miracles, yet they denied those signs in their wickedness and pride. So you see, what was the end of those transgressors? 28:39, 28:39. He, Pharaoh, and his warriors were arrogant in the land without any justification. They thought that they would never be brought back to us. 28:40, 28:40. So we seized him and his warriors, and flung them into the sea. See what was the end of wrongdoers. 51:40, 51:40. Consequently, we seized him. Page 41 of 66, 10, 91. In response, Allah said to him, Now you believe. But a little while before, you were disobedient and one of the mischief makers. Pharaoh's body was saved. 10, 92, 10, 92. This day we shall save your body, so that you may become a sign for the succeeding generations. Indeed, many among mankind are heedless of our signs. Presentation of Pharaoh's body to fire. 40, 46, 40, 46. It is the fire of hell before which they are presented morning and evening, and on the day when the time of judgment will come, it will be commanded, people of Pharaoh, enter the severest punishment. Allah's punishment to Pharaoh's men. 7, 130. Page 42 of 66. Prophet Musa called by Allah for 40 nights. On one occasion, Allah called Prophet Musa on the Mount of Tur for 40 nights. He had to be away from his men for that period. So, Prophet Musa took his brother, Prophet Harun, in confidence and told him to take responsibility to represent him by leading his people in his absence, set a good example, and to be careful from the mischief makers. 7, 142, 7, 142. We summoned Musa for 30 nights and added 10 more to complete the term of 40 nights for communion with his Rabb. Before leaving, Musa asked his brother Harun, You will be in my place among my people, set a good example and do not follow the way of mischief makers. On his way, Prophet Musa was seized by an E. Page 43 of 66, 20, 84. He replied, They are close behind me. I hasten to you, O Rab, so that you may be pleased. Request of Prophet Musa to see Allah. When Prophet Musa reached the appointed place, he requested Allah to make his vision powerful enough to see him. He was told that he cannot see him. 7, 143, 7, 143. When Musa came to our appointed place and his Rab spoke to him, he asked, O my Rab, give me power of sight to see you. He answered, You cannot see me. Look at the mountain. If it remains firm in its place, then soon you might be able to see me. When his Rab manifested his glory on the mountain, it Page 44 of 66, 6, 154. Then we gave Musa the book to complete our favor on those who would do good. It contained details of all things, and was a guide and a mercy, so that they should believe in the meeting with their Rab. 11, 110, 11, 110. We certainly gave the book to Musa, but differences arose therein. Had it not been a word gone forth from your Rab, the matter would have been decided between them. It is a fact that they were in suspicious doubt about this. 17, 2, 17, 2. We gave Musa the book and made it a guide for Bni Israel, saying, Do not take any other protector besides me. 23:49. Page 45 of 66, 40, 53, 40, 53. No doubt, we gave Musa a guidance, and we made Bani Israel to inherit that book. 41, 45, 41, 45. Indeed, we gave Musa the book in which dispute arose. Had it not been a word gone forth from your Rab, the matter would have been decided between them. It is a fact that they were in suspicious doubt about this. Allah's favors on Bani Israel. Bani Israel initially have been a most favored nation by Allah, and He did a lot of favors to this nation. These favors have been described in Quran. 5:20. 5:20. Ponder upon the incident when Musa said to his Page 46 of 66, 45, 16. 45, 16. And we provided them, Bani Israel, with good thing of life, and exalted them above the nations, saved Bani Israel from the clutches of Fir'aun. The full story how Prophet Musa was able to take his people out of the clutches of Fir'aun has been described above. Now some more verses where Allah has mentioned this favor to Bani Israel. 249, and when we delivered you from the people of Fir'aun, they had subjected you to severe torment, killing your sons and sparing your women. You were facing a tremendous trial from your Rabb the Great. 7. Page 47 of 6637, 115, and we saved both of them with all their people, Bani Israel, from the mighty distress. 44:30, 44:31, 44:30, we did deliver the children of Israel from a humiliating chastisement. 44:31, inflicted by Fir'aun, who was the most arrogant among such inordinate transgressors, provided respectable dwelling when Prophet Musa took Bani Israel with him, saved them from the torment of Fir'aun, crossed the sea. They were living away from their homes. They were all jobless, had no accommodation to live and no food to eat. So Allah provided all these necessities of life to them without doing any effort by them. Allah provided respectable dwellings, provided shade of clouds to save them from the scorching heat of the sun, and provided cooked food, manna, sweet dish, and salva, the cooked em. Page 48 of 66, 20, 80. 20, 80. And we sent down to you manna and salva, 12 tribes and 12 springs for them to drink water. They did not even have water to drink. So Allah arranged water of 12 springs for their 12 tribes. 2, 62, 60, and remember the time when Musa prayed for water for his people. We said, strike the rock with your staff. Thereupon we caused 12 springs to come out of that rock. Each tribe was assigned its own drinking place. Then they were commanded, eat and drink of what Allah has provided and do not create mischief in the land. Page 49 of 66, 512, 512, Allah did in fact make a covenant with Bani Israel and appointed 12 chieftains from among them and said, I am with you. 520. 520, remember the incident when Musa said to his people, He, Allah, raised prophets from among you and made you kings. 570, 570, certainly, we took a covenant from Bani Israel and sent them Rasuls. 45, 16, 45, 16, we gave the book to Bani Israel and bestowed on them rulership and prophethood. Treasures of Qarun, Korah, was a man from Bani Israel. However, he rebelled against his own people and became the follow. Page 50 of 66, 2, 83, remember, when we took a covenant, firm commitment, from Bani Israel, you shall worship none but Allah. Be good to your parents, relatives, orphans and destitute, speak fair to the people, establish Salah and pay zakah. But you broke the covenant, except a few of you, and you paid no heed. Allah said, Bani Israel will make mischief twice, 17, 4, 17, 4, we forewarned Bani Israel in their holy book that you will do mischief in the land twice through becoming arrogant transgressors. Unreasonable demand to see Allah. 255, 255, addressing Bani Israel, Allah said, remember when you said, O Musa, we shall never believe you until we see Allah with our own eyes. A 2. Page 51 of 66 onions. Prophet Musa was surprised to listen to their request and told them that their request was unrealistic as they wanted to exchange better food for the worse. If it was what they wanted, then they have to go to some other place where they would find what they had asked for. 261, 261, remember, when you said, O Musa, we cannot endure one kind of food. Call on your Rabb to give us food which the earth produces, such as green herbs, cucumbers, garlic, lentils, and onions. Musa asked, would you exchange the better for the worse? If that's what you want, go to some other city for what you have asked. used to write books and declare it from Allah. Page 52 of 66, 3, 94, 3, 94. Then, whoever ascribe a lie to Allah after this, will indeed be unjust. Used to kill the prophets. 2, 61, 2, 61. This was because they went on rejecting the commandments of Allah and killed his prophets unjustly, and persisted in transgressing the bound. 2, 91, 2, 91. Ask them why you used to kill the prophets of Allah before, if you were believers. 4, 155, 4, 155. After all this, they, Bani Israel, still broke their covenant, rejected the revelation of Allah, and killed the prophets unjustly. Page 53 of 66. The orders of Allah. The restriction was not to allow them to catch fish on Saturdays. However, with the will of Allah, it so happened that the fish used to be in abundance on Sabbath days, Saturdays, and not much fish on other days. Their leaders found a way to catch fish on Saturdays when these were available in abundance. They started putting their nets on Friday evenings, before the restriction of Sabbath started, and taking out on Sunday mornings after Sabbath. For this violation of Allah's orders, they were made apes. The lesson in this event is that Allah's orders should be complied with by words and in its true spirits. Any excuse or misinterpretation is considered as violation of the orders. 2, 65, 2, 65. You very well know the story of those of you who transgressed in the matter of the Sabbath. We ordered them, be detested apes. 2, 66. Page 54 of 66. The water, but on the days other than their Sabbath not seen near them. Thus, we did tempt them because they transgressed. 7, 166, 7, 166. But when they persisted in their forbidden ways, we said to them, be detested apes. 16, 124, 16, 124. Indeed, Sabbath was ordained for those who differed in it. Surely, your Rabb will judge between them on the day of judgment about that over which they differ. Making and worshipping a calf. Prophet Musa was the savior of Israelites by taking them out from the clutches of Pharaoh, and the Bani Israel would have been grateful to him and obey his orders. However, Bani Israel were not contented and were not sincere to Prophet Musa. They had been disobeying him. Page 55 of 66, 2, 93. Remember, when we took a covenant from you and we lifted the mount of Torah over your heads, we said, take what we have given you firmly and listen to our commandments. You replied, we have heard but we will not obey. 521, 521. Musa said, O my people, enter the holy land which Allah has assigned to you. Do not turn back, because if you do, you will become losers. 522, 522. They said, O Musa, a nation of giants live in there, we will not set our foot in it until they leave. As soon as they leave, we will be ready to enter. Page 56 of 66, 526. Allah responded, very well, they are forbidden this land for 40 years. During this time, they will wander homeless on the earth, so do not grieve for these disobedient people. 7, 138, 7, 138. We made Bani Israel cross the Red Sea. On their way, they came across a people who were worshipping their idols. Looking on them, they, Bani Israel, said, O Musa, fashion for us an ilah, a god for worship, like the gods of these people. He replied, you are indeed very ignorant people. Asterisk, 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 2244, 2244. Musa was also denied. Initially, I gave respite to all those unbelievers and then I seized them. See how terrible was my disapproval. Bani is. Page 57 of 66, 251, Allah addressed Bani Israel. Remember when we communed with Musa for 40 nights and in his absence you took the calf for worship, thus committing a wicked transgression. 254 Remember, when Musa said to his people, O my people, you have indeed grievously wronged yourselves by taking the calf for worship. So turn in repentance to your Creator. ************** 292 Indeed, Musa came to you with clear signs, then you made a calf for worshipping, when he, Musa, was away from you, and you were wrongful. 293. So much was the love of that calf in their hearts due to their unbelief. Page 58 of 66, 86, Musa returned to his people in a state of anger and sorrow. He said, O my people, did your Rab not make a gracious promise to you? Did that promise took too long to you? Or, did you desire that the wrath of your Rab should incur that you broke your promise with me? 87, they replied, we broke the promise through no fault of ours. We were made to carry the burden of the people's ornaments which we threw into the fire. It was what Samiri suggested, 88, and forged a calf in the shape of a body which produced the mooing sound. Then they cried out, this is your God and the God of Musa, which Musa forgot to mention it to you. 91. Page 59 of 66 Not make my enemies happy over me and do not count me among the wrongdoers. 154 When Musa's anger calmed down he took up the holy tablets in whose writing there was guidance and mercy for those who fear their Rab. 92 Then Musa addressed Harun, and said, O Harun, what prevented you from following me, when you saw them going astray? 93 Why did you not follow me? Why did you disobey my orders? 94 He, Harun, replied, O son of my mother, do not seize me by my beard nor by my head. In fact I was. Page 60 of 66 95 Then Musa addressed Samiri, now what you have to say about this, O Samiri? 96 He replied, I saw what they did not see. So, I took a handful of from the footprints of the Rasul and threw it into the casting of the calf. This was what my soul prompted me. 97 Musa said, get out of here. Now throughout your life, you will say to other people, touch me not. And you will not escape your appointed doom. Behold this God to whom you had become a devoted worshipper, we will burn it and scatter its ashes into the sea. 98. Page 61 of 66 Musa answered, I seek the protection of Allah from being one of the ignorance. 68 They said, request your Rab to give us some details of that cow. Musa replied, Allah says, the cow should neither be too old nor too young but of middle age. Therefore, do what you are commanded. 69 They said, request your Rab to clarify for us her color. Musa replied, Allah says, the said cow should be of a rich and deep yellow color, pleasing to the eyes. 70 They said, request your Rab to. Page 62 of 66 73 So we said, strike the dead body with a piece of it the slaughtered cow. That's how Allah brought the dead to life to show you his signs so that you may understand his power to restore life. 74 But even after seeing that, your hearts became hard like a rock or even harder, for there are some rocks from which rivers gush out, and there are some which break asunder and water comes out of them, and there are some which fall down with the fear of Allah. And Allah is not unaware of what you do. Allah's special favors to Prophet Musa and Prophet Harun, 21:48. Page 63 of 66, 37, 120, 37, 120, Salutation to Musa and Harun. The story of a noble man. This story relates to a noble man whom Prophet Musa met, and Allah showed him how he appoints some selected persons, other than the prophets, for some specific purposes and manages the affairs. The name of this noble man has not been disclosed in Quran. However, many interpreters of Quran take him to be Khidr. 1860, when Musa set out to meet the noble man, at an appointed place, said to his servant, I will not give up my journey until I reach the junction of the two rivers, even if I have to spend ages in travel. 1861, it so happened that, when they reached the junction of the two rivers, they forgot about their Page 64 of 66, 1866, Musa requested him, May I follow you so that you may teach me from the true knowledge which you have been taught? 1867, he answered, Surely you will not be able to bear with me. 1868, for, how can you have patience about that which is beyond your knowledge? 1869, Musa said, If Allah wills, you shall find me patient and I shall not disobey you in any way. 1870, he said, If you want to follow me, then do not question me about anything until I tell you about it myself. Page 65 of 66, 1875, the noble man said, Did I not tell you that you will not be able to bear with me? 1876, Musa replied, If ever I ask you about anything after this, you may not keep me in your company. For then I should deserve it because you will have an excuse in my case. 1877, they traveled on, until they came to the people of a town. They asked them for some food, but they refused to give them any hospitality. There they found a wall which was on the point of falling down. So he restored it. Musa said, If you wanted, you could demand some recompense for it. Page 66 of 66, 1882, As for the wall, it belonged to two orphan boys in the city, and beneath it their treasure was buried. Their father was a righteous man. So, your Rab desired that these children should attain their maturity and take out their treasure. All this was done as a mercy from your Rab. What I did was not done by my own will. That is the interpretation of those actions which you could not bear to watch with patience. Teachings of Prophet Musa 10:84, Musa said, O my people! If you sincerely believe in Allah, then put your trust in Him, if you are really Muslims.